today we are filing at the U.S. District Court. And if we have it, let's put it up on a screen. This is the Oklahoma Republican Party's motion to intervene pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 24, which is the civil procedure rule you utilize to engage the case. It is exactly the same thing there. We're representing the Oklahoma Republican Committee. Very similar case to the Colorado case, basically the same legal arguments. Differential is in Oklahoma, it's actually in federal court. In Colorado, it's in the state court system.
When you see a headline that we have right now, breaking ACLJ and Oklahoma GOP join forces, what does that mean? Why does the Oklahoma GOP get involved? Like, why? What is the good, the bad, and the ugly of sort of what all happens here?
The GOP of the state, and here it's Oklahoma and Colorado, obviously it's Colorado, they have to get involved because they're the ones who put up the candidates. So when a candidate qualifies under the party's rules, remember it's the local party that controls the candidacy on getting on a ballot, their right to have the candidates that they have certified as the valid candidates, and there could be 10 of them. They certify that to the state, and the state then has to put it up. Now, what they're saying here is no, you cannot put up Trump because of the 14th Amendment disqualification clause. That's clause 3, because as an officer of the United States, he violated his oath. We got early on that. The very first day this came out, because we know a lot about that because we represented the president. Right. So we know what roles the president's playing. The president's not an officer of the United States. He's the chief. He's the commanding officer of the United States. He's not an executive officer.
There's a separate oath in the Constitution that the president takes. The president is unique in the American system.
He's the only person that is a branch of government.
Right. The unitary executive, we talked about this during the days that we represented President Trump. A unitary executive, he is the executive branch of government. He is not an officer of the United States.
Joining us right now, the chairman of the Oklahoma GOP and also an Oklahoma state senator, Nathan Dahm.
A plain reading of the 14th Amendment, first of all, shows that the presidency the president is not even mentioned in that. It mentions presidential electors and other positions, but it doesn't mention the president. And on top of all that, when they keep claiming insurrection, there is actually a federal statute on insurrection that no one has been charged with from January 6th, let alone President Trump hasn't been charged with it. Yes, in the court of public opinion, with the media that now has control of that, they will convict someone of all kinds of crimes. They've done it time and time again. Nancy Pelosi talked about it. It's the whole smear package that they'll smear it, they'll present it out there, the media will run with it, and then in everybody's minds that are gullible enough to believe the media, they believe that that is the case.
This lawsuit has been brought by a guy who says he's a Republican running for president. He's a Texas resident. He's filed another lawsuit like the Colorado suit. He argues that the former president is ineligible to be president due to the 14th Amendment, the disqualification clause that we've been talking about. He claims to be a Republican candidate for office, and I guess he's filed with the various state, and he's seeking to eliminate, quote, his rival from the chance to run for office. The lawsuit was brought against two parties, President Trump and the secretary of the Oklahoma State Election Board. So that's how they do it in versus Colorado, where it's the Secretary of State. Here it's the State Election Board.
We're seeing a legal tsunami, which is aimed at twisting the language of the Constitution for political purposes. So what we are witnessing is an act of pure political desperation because the left and some elite law professors, even on the right, they fear the prospect of President Trump being, the nominee, and secondarily being elected by the American people. So they don't want to leave anything to chance. So they want to intervene now, and they want to use the Constitution as a political weapon. And I think it's very, very important for our listeners and for us as an organization to fight back.
The implementing statute here, not the amendment, the statute, is the Insurrection Act. And the Insurrection Act is one of the only things they have not charged the former president with, no one else as well.